Hi, today we're going to go over kind of a fun exercise in Bagua, and it's one in which we learn to balance our upper body with the aid of a stone here, a little rock. And it depends on the style of Bagua you're doing, but most styles have different forms where the palm is supporting something or balancing something, and it moves through certain motions where the palm stays more or less pointed toward the ceiling or pointed toward the ground, whatever it may be in the motion. This is a good way to practice keeping balanced. It's often if you're moving with a partner, you'll want to keep your hand balanced under his body and then moving with balance with your body to push him away. So this little rock practice is a lot of fun. So just take any size stone. They can get larger and larger as you go along. Place it in your palm. Try not to cheat, just grabbing it. Okay, it should fall out if you turn your hand over. The first exercise will be to take the stone and move it in this fashion, and then move it back out like this. Okay, trying to keep your hand completely flat if possible. Move it in to the rear, and then move it back out. Now notice I'm not just moving my shoulder and arm here. I'm trying to move my body, making a little hole here for my arm to go through, and use my hip to shoulder axis here, the axial skeleton, to move this hand around. I'm not just trying to move it from the wrist or from the forearm. Okay? So to complete that movement, we're going to go in, around, up, spinning the elbow in, and back down to form a complete circle. Okay? Once again, we're going to start here. The fingers turn in toward the body, and then away. You bring your elbow up. You keep the palm high. You spin around with the body, not just the hand, and bring it back in. Okay? Back into here. That's one full movement. Try not to turn the hand too much. If you really want to know if you're doing a good job or not, place a tennis ball there. Cup your palm slightly, and it'll be much, much more difficult to do that with a tennis ball. But once again, place a rock, any object. We used to use small Chinese teacups. Okay, and start with an empty cup. Put a little water in there, a little more, until it's completely full, then try not to spill any water. It's always a good deal of fun. So let's try it again. Inside, up, around, and back in. Okay? It can be done with both hands, of course. You can go inside, up, around, and back in. You can also do this with foot movement. Okay? So we can start from the inside here, do a T-step, let the hand come in, up, around, and finish over here. Okay? You can also continue around by doing an L and a V step, which we learned earlier, by going here, stepping up, T-step, around, step out to an L, a V, back in again, and you can just keep going in that fashion. Okay? So once again, the hand is out holding the rock. You step up, T-step, out to an L, out to a V step, and then we can move on in this fashion or just keep going around. You can also hand the rock off to the other hand, like doing your first movement here, round, and then hand the rock off here to this hand. And then step out, T, turn, V, step around, and then hand the rock off to this hand. and start again. So these can be a great deal of fun. I'm going to get some larger rocks. So we'll take just a short break. Larger stones. I like these. These are sort of river rocks we have in Northern California. Because they fit onto the palm, the fingers wrap around them in a very much a fashion similar to the Bagua dragon hand, or the Bagua palm form, which is very common, and it fits right in the palm of the hand. These also give you a little bit of weight here. You can use these for Bagua weight training. You can add larger and larger rocks as you go. Okay? With the larger rock, you can actually complete your form by gripping the rocks when your palm is facing toward the ground. So to do a single palm change, the Wang Shujin system, I would step around out here, come under, come back around, and then turn back in a normal fashion there. Okay? So you can do any of your forms this way. A lot of different exercises you can do, like the coming in and out of the hands. When you're gripping in a lower position and you come to a palm up position, you can then let go of the fingers and work as a balance exercise. If you have to go down, you can grip it again in a downward movement like this. Okay? So you may have an exercise like this one, going through out of the Shu-Chin system of swimming body Bagua. Okay, where both hands are not gripping, and then one hand comes up, they finish, and like this. Okay? You can also adapt your Bagua form, whereas if you have a palm out or palm down, to have both palms up at all times. That way you can walk the circle in a little different kind of palm form here, do a single palm change, and walk it back this way. So you can adapt the movement a bit to go with the rocks themselves. Once again, they can get larger and larger. This is the sort of weight training I approve of, rather than just lifting dumbbells, because you're doing a Bagua movement, you're doing a martial movement, but you're adding a little weight too. You can add wrist weights or whatever, but I think for Bagua, being an open hand form, these rocks are a wonderful way to improve your grip, your balance, and to improve the strength in your shoulder and elbows. Okay? Thank you very much.